I think you must have had a lot of good and beautiful moments past days. But yeah, what was the best moment? Could you recall one moment or?
There've been so many that it's really hard to pinpoint. I think probably the most important race was the K4 and the biggest relief. That was the first final. That was the biggest relief for the week, and after that everything was just gravy on top.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep on mentioning the K4. Why is that such a beautiful boat for you?
It's really unique, I guess, when you find a crew that really gels well together, and we obviously found that, and our results sort of spoke for themselves at the World Championships last year. It's also nice to do it with the team. So I think since last year, the K4 has been the four of us: Dave, Tate, Jake, and I. That's been our focus, and obviously Kenny jumping in there and filling in as well. It's been really the priority in training, and with all the hassles that went with it, with Dave being sick and the boat changing around and a bit of a dodgy preparation, it was just a massive relief to get that one across the finish line. Obviously the K1, it's amazing, it's great to get those results, and especially racing such good competition. Kenny in the 1,000 and Joel and Maddie in the 200. It's lovely having individual results, and I'll always treasure those. But I can't step away from the K4. It's still my favourite boat, and I think hopefully we're gonna go on and do good things in London.
Yeah. What would be the most beautiful moment that doesn't concern yourself, but maybe something else, someone else, or something else you've seen during the event here?
There've been so many great races, so it's really hard to pinpoint. Obviously, the girls winning their K4 and Alana winning her K1s were great to watch, but probably one of the things for me as an athlete, one of the nicest things that I saw at the regatta is just all the juniors and how involved they are, and how much they enjoy competing. And we had Jimmy Owens organised a bit of a meet and greet for us with some of those athletes coming through, and it's great to see them and actually get a chance to have a chat to them and see how much it means for them to meet us. So that for me was a really special thing that we probably haven't done enough of in the last few years.
Yeah, because I guess, well, the more famous, so to speak, you become, the more of an example you become for the younger kids.
Definitely.
Are you aware of that?
I wouldn't really call us famous just yet, but it was definitely evident that we are in the position as role models, and I think it's really nice to be in that position, and I hope we set a good example for the younger guys coming through. There's a great crop of kids involved in the sport, and I just hope they all carry on with it.
Yeah. Hey, let's go back to that moment of winning or earning these Olympic nominations, or the right to be nominated. How do you experience that? Well, with your fiancée and with your family.
It's great. I've got such a big support crew who came out and watched all my racing. My fiancée Beck, she's amazing. She definitely helps bring me back down to size, but she's there to support me when I don't do well as well. And it's great to have her, and then obviously my parents and my brother and the rest of my family and friends. It's just so nice that they can all be a part of it, and what can I say? They've helped me for all the way through it from when I first picked up the paddle. I couldn't have done it without them. So it's lovely that they could be here and share it with me.
Yeah. Well, what I also like is your grandmother. She's so enthusiastic and so well proud of you. It's amazing.
I don't know who's more famous in the Penrith circles, my grandmother or the dog, our Dalmatian Beau. So, and my grandmother is if Beck's my number one supporter, I'd say Anne's probably my number two supporter. She loves all the racing, and I think she gets more nervous than I do. So it's great to have her down here. And as with the rest of my family, my dad, he's at Penrith more than I am, I think, with working in the Start Tower, and he's been a role model for me. He actually was a paddler himself, and a part of this is sort of living his dream as well. He wasn't able to go to the Olympics for South Africa when he was eligible, and so it's always been a dream of mine to go in his stead, I guess.
You always seem to be pretty cool, you know, like, and in a way where after the race or before the race, like there are no nerves. But are there nerves, and if you have them, how do you deal with that? How do you get relaxed?
It's funny. It all depends on the race and what the pressure is on the race. I'd be lying if I said there weren't nerves in every race that I did, because there definitely are. Once the K4 was definitely the most nervous I've got in a race in a long time, just because there was so much riding on that race that I was definitely very nervous before that. Once that was over, there was a little less pressure, and the K1, it was the K1000, and it was more just about doing the best race that I could do. Again, I was still nervous beforehand, but less pressure once I was on the team.
That's strange, because I would expect in the K4 at least you've got your mates, you know, so you can share the nerves, I guess, and you know, chat a bit, and when you're on your own, you're really on your own.
Yeah, the K4, if the races had been the other way around, I think the nerves would have been the other way around as well. Oh. It was more the fact that was the event that was our first chance at sort of actually being on the team. So yeah, it definitely helps having another three blokes going with it, going through the same emotions as you. So you're right. It does relieve a few nerves from that point of view. But once that hurdle was crossed, it was more about just racing as best as my best, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Another thing that fascinates me is that when we do the interviews, sometimes after the race, or you like to, how do you say, lower expectations. You know, we take it step by step. We see what happens next. You might do that partly for yourself, partly for the audience. But on the other hand, obviously, you have to be very confident. Like, you know, I'm going to win this race. And so how does that join? How does it match those two?
I find there's a really fine line between confidence and arrogance, and I have a lot of self-belief, and I think if you don't have self-belief, then you can't win really. And but I don't really like to talk myself up too much, because it's unnecessary. If I believe in myself, I don't need to tell everyone else just how much I believe in myself. So I find that a bit distracting. But at the same time, there are so many good people out there and so many tough guys that we're racing against that it really was take one race at a time, because each race there was, regardless of the end result, there was a lot of guys who could have won every race, and it could have gone either way. So it's the reality of it.
Yeah. I think in the next few weeks you probably have, you know, a few important decisions to make. Which distances you're going to race. Yeah, how do you think that process is going to look for you?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'd much prefer to be in this position where I get to pick and choose a few races than the alternative. But it is going to be difficult to prioritise those races, because as far as I'm concerned, each of the 4 races that I've qualified in, they're all important, and it would be an honour to race any of them at the Games. I think it's going to be difficult to decide which is the best for me and which is best for the country, and I think those decisions, while I'll have a big say, I think the coaches will also have a big say as well. So it's just going to be a matter of analysing the program and seeing what events are possible and what is likely to get the best result, because after all it is about winning medals in London, and I've said all the way along, I'm not really concerned which boat that would be in, as long as we got the medal around our neck. It would be an honour regardless of which discipline or which craft. Having said that, I still believe that our best chance is in the K4. I think that boat has so much potential, and obviously it's my favourite, but I think that would be the priority. Again, I've said that 1,000 times, but that would be what I consider the most likely of my events to gain a medal. So that's a definite, and then after that, I think it's a matter of being clever about what we decide to race.
Yeah. Hey, and my last question. The last 5 days, and maybe already before, but did that feel a bit like an Olympic dream? Definitely. It's hard to sort of express in words the emotions, the ups and downs that I've been through in my kayaking career, and having never been to an Olympics, it really is a bit of a cliche, but it's a dream come true, and I just hope I do it justice. Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting process from here. The job's definitely not done, but so far so good. Yeah, well, fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.